who's with them. But you can get all the info at Ticketmaster.com. Tickets, info, whatever. You strike out here, you can buy them there. 2 tickets here for you. Get the last pair I have this week for Jeff Ross. Good luck. Caller 10-216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Let's be real. Sleeping with your teacher is hot. Just be careful if you're homeschooled. Mom, stop it!
Now back to the Alan Cox Show on 100.7
WMMS.
Yeah, Nazi punks F off. I had to drop it out. But the dead Kennedys had it right. Speaking of being homeschooled. F off, Nazi punks. Nazi punks. Nazi punks. Turns out there's a family in Sandusky who's running a Nazi homeschool organization. 'Cause Ohio. And now the state is looking into it and investigating This is why people are skeptical of homeschooling. This doesn't do the homeschooling movement any favors at all. They're investigating thousands of, well, they're not investigating the subscribers, but they're investigating the family that's disseminating the information to thousands of subscribers who are 100% down with the homeschooling curriculum to create, quote, perfect little Nazis. The Ohio Department of Education is looking into the family that started this. It teaches their kids to copy Adolf Hitler quotes in cursive because you can't just print them out. You want to make them look classy. Offers tips to avoid Jewish media content. And teaches, of course, that black people have a much lower IQ than whites. All of the geniuses, I'm sure, that are enrolled in the Nazi homeschool curriculum. Sure, they're all Mensa candidates. A family in Upper Sandusky has been using the Dissident Homeschool channel on Telegram and sharing their educational resources with thousands of subscribers across the state.
And Upper Sandusky is a dumb place anyway because it's not even up. It's below Sandusky.
Upper Sandusky is below Sandusky?
It's north of the Sandusky River.
Oh, well.
Right,
I mean,
but it's
Upper
not.
Sandusky would be the lake, wouldn't it?
If you're talking about the city. I actually, the only reason why I know that
Yeah, we've
is
done stand-up out there.
is because I've done stand-up there and they explained it, yeah.
Yeah, but still dumb. Because there's another Sandusky that's a few miles, probably 50 miles away. That's way more upper than that one.
Logan
and the Nazis, so 2 strikes.
Logan and Katja Lawrence, who used the pseudonym Mr. and Mrs. Saxon, Natch, created a group in October 2021, which seeks to teach families who are homeschooling their children racist, anti-Semitic, pro-Nazi, and homophobic posts. A unit study for elementary school ages to ensure that our children, for instance, on MLK Day, they wanted the school lesson that day was to show how MLK was a deceitful, dishonest, riot-inciting Negro.
What did I miss? I just get a winner.
We're just talking about Ohio.
This family in Upper Sandusky who's running some Nazi homeschooling curriculum.
Okay.
The mother born in the Netherlands, again, said, we are deeply invested into making sure that the child becomes a wonderful Nazi. Without homeschooling, our children are left defenseless to the schools and the gay Afro-Zionist scum who run them.
Why they gotta be gay?
She recently worked as the office manager at a law firm. So anyway, here's a local story talking about it.
New details are emerging tonight about an online channel called Dissident Homeschool, where group members can download what's described as Nazi-approved material. The channel already has more than 2,000 subscribers.
I thought Nazi-approved was a weird way to put it.
Right.
Like, who's doing the approving? Are they the principal and vice principal of the whole thing?
Right here, it's a little kind to the homosexuals. We need
Yeah,
to,
we
Yeah.
need to get
we
that.
pump up that language, make it a little more hateful.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is not Nazi approved. Kid tested, Nazi approved.
Has more than 2,000 subscribers. According to Yahoo News, it includes ready-made lesson plans authored by the Saxons on various subjects like Confederate General Robert E. Lee and Martin Luther King Jr., who they say is the antithesis of our civilization and our people. It also includes things like printouts so students can learn to write Adolf Hitler quotes in cursive and tips to, quote, avoid Jewish media content. I spoke with Ohio Board of Education member Teresa Fetter today, who says instances like these need to be addressed.
Somebody who's homeschooling, what is the expectation that they are checking in with the school districts that their kids are in for their curriculum they're teaching within their home?
Very little accountability. So that needs to be taken a look at as far as public policy. And, they want their freedoms, but they also are allowed tax dollars.
State Democrats say there is no meaningful review of homeschooling curriculum in Ohio law.
How can that be? See, this is why everybody's in on the scam. I want my freedom to teach my kids whatever, but can I get some money from the state? How is that possible? How is there so little oversight over homeschooling?
The same reason why anybody can create a religion and get tax-free exemption. It's the same policy.
Well, not anybody can create a religion and say I'm tax exempt. There are things,
religions.
but
Things
there
you have to
are
do.
things that you have to. There are criteria you have to meet to do that, or else we'd all be running our own religions.
Yes, but
Why is there so little oversight on homeschooling? I don't want my kid in school learning all this nonsense, but I need some tax money. I'd be like, you're on your own, bro. You can teach your kids whatever you want. You're not getting a goddamn cent from the state. Everybody's in on some kind of grift. I just like that they made it very, very clear that they wanted their kids to learn cursive.
Oh, yeah.
There's still a glint of a fundamental. And why? Why cursive? I see my daughter working on cursive in the first grade. I'm like, why? What's the point of this anymore?
Really, though, sign your name and that's it.
But like, what's the point? Cursive feels like one of those things that schools are like hanging on to because it's been there forever. But like cursive,
I still don't know.
get that out and let's get something else in. Like,
Here's a spoiler alert.
Wingdings.
Balancing checkbooks.
I have written, if you have young kids in the car. Well, let me see. I have written letters to Brian's daughter, Blake, around certain times of year as on behalf of characters. We'll leave it at that.
I see what you're doing.
And,
yes.
Because last time I spoke on this subject, I got a lot of angry emails.
Correct. Like, I have kids in the car. You have to.
Right.
Yes.
And it was the first time I had written.
And by the way, parents, you're welcome that we tread so lightly around this.
Right.
If I had my druthers, and I sometimes do have
We
druthers.
tell your dumb kids the dumb truth.
That's right.
Right?
Say what I want to say.
You're all liars.
Adam's
Right.
family.
But it was the first time I had written in cursive in years, and to write an entire letter, it probably took me, I am not exaggerating when I say it took me probably 30 minutes to write this letter because I had to physically.
And it probably looked like a child wrote it.
It wasn't
which probably
great.
helped the bit, but that probably helped the bit.
Yeah, but it was one of those where
No, it's supposed to look like a grown. It's
supposed to look-
Jesus' birthday, so probably had Jesus write it. Sorry, kids, Jesus isn't real.
He is real.
That's the character she was talking about.
But it was just so funny because, obviously Blake
Mm-hmm.
can't read it. And then even Brian is looking at it and he's like, this is good. This is tough. Like I am unfamiliar with some of these letters.
Right.
Like,
Are these all bubbles?
but
What are
that
these?
is the first time I
Is it
have
a capital Q or a 2? What is
First-
that?
To Winton.
That's the first time I've used cursive in my adult life, other than like signing my name,
So, congratulations, Ohio. We're back on the national stage for something awesome. This is national news. The Nazi homeschooling curriculum that thousands of people have signed up for because, you know, people are dummies and they think that they know so much better than other people when it comes to teaching. Listen, I got nothing wrong with teaching your children things, but guess what? I don't want to pay for it. I can't believe, A, there's very little oversight, according to that lady, and they're getting tax dollars for it. Holy Christ.
It's the stuff like this that makes me so mad when I have friends who are teachers, like my sister-in-law's a teacher, and she's buying her own markers and her own paper and things like that, where she's like, we can't get funding from the state for things like necessary school supplies. But these people can get money to teach them that Nazi values.
And again, I don't, and this is an extreme case,
and it might not be the
obviously.
same
They're
money or whatever, but.
Right. They've got the Nazi money earmarked over here. It's Randy, hello.
Hello, Alan. I just came into this, heard your discussion last minute or two. I want to go back and hear more, but a couple quick things here. I just heard Mary talking about her teacher friend who can't afford essential things like markers and paper and things. I heard some great comedian, I wish I could remember her name, a couple years ago at one of the local comedy clubs, who's a former teacher, and she's saying now they're mandating us to have guns. It's like, great. Give me that gun and I'll sell it and I'll buy my necessary school supplies. How's that?
Yeah.
And then, so my other quick thought was in Germany, they do not allow homeschooling of any kind, which I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to here. I got a lot of problems with you people. I could go on for several minutes, but I won't. And the other quick thing I was going to say is you brought up the cursive debate. They complain that, and this hits home to me. I'm a trained American historian, and they say, well, our kids can't even read our founding documents. Well, guess what? You're right. We should teach our kids of a certain age to read cursive. That takes maybe a few hours or so with some follow-up. And, yes, teach them about the Constitution and our important founding documents. You don't have to spend years and years teaching them to write cursive handwriting like they did with us. That's a waste of time at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
learning computer skills.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge difference between what you see in Germany and what you see here, and part of it is that obviously we do have different takes on free speech, so there is that.
And religion.
But we also have very different relationships to our respective histories. In this country, the most important thing to do is to never make anybody white uncomfortable. And in Germany, they are very, very locked in on the Holocaust was the most horrible thing to happen on the planet and to this country. And, you know, and we're very, very laser focused on letting everybody know that nothing like that is, you know, over here, we're pulling books out of schools because, you know, you can't teach kids that slavery was a thing and blah, blah, blah. So they are two different countries. But I mean, all the Nazi stuff over there in Germany is illegal for obvious reasons.
For instance, when we talk about the generation gap between the boomers and the so-called greatest generation in this country, it's like, even though like a lot of people would say, well, you know, dad and mom were born in the Depression and they may have been racist and this and that and everything, they did defeat Hitler. It's like, if you're in Germany, it's like, no, my parents were not Jesus. Like, talk about a generation gap, you know, so.
Well, I mean,
anyway,
in Germany, you can get thrown in jail for Holocaust denial. Over here, it's like a political party.
Right. Oh, great point. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a matter for debate over there. And I mean, unfortunately, we have free speech over here in the First Amendment. But so it's not apples to apples. That's for sure. So.
No, listen, I'm for the First Amendment. I want to be very, very clear on that. It's not an issue of that.
I know you are.
However, it's like, you know, there's... Okay, thank you, Randy. I appreciate that. There's Randy. You can leave us messages on the iHeartRadio app if that's where you listen to the show.
Yesterday, we were talking about old lingo. I'm bringing back cool beans. Let's do it. Bring back cool beans.
I know people that say cool beans all the time.
Cool beans is one of the worst ones. I never liked cool beans.
My buddy John Bruton always says
I think cool beans is super lame.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember it being huge either. So if somebody wants to say it, again, you go crazy. You do it. You
Yeah, we're not a
say
cool
whatever
beans
you-
crowd. We're a hot nuts crowd. So
Yeah, right.
beat it with the cool beans.
Speaking of hot beans or hot nuts or whatever, did you see the video of the lady farting next to her husband and he like fist bumps her because he's like, "This is great." I mean, she looks kind of cute. So I can't tell how old he is. She's on Rumble. She got like 11 followers, and 2 of her videos are fart related. But she looks kind of cute. I kind of can't tell how old she is.
What's Rumble?
It's just another social media platform. Let me show you this on the live stream here. She's sitting on the couch next to her husband, theoretically, and
Golly.
Love a good golly.
Really? Wow. Wow. That's as much of a fart that I could do in probably half a week.
Half a week.
How can you hold that much in? Wow. Wow, babe, I'm proud of you. You are the man. Right here, babe. I'm not gonna do it.
he fist bumps her. I can't tell. Yeah, she looks kind of cute. I can't really tell.
They look
like-
older.
Do they? I mean,
Yeah.
she looks like she's got like grayish blonde hair, but that she's not old. So she got another video where she's lighting a fart. She's got see, she has a lot of fart-centric
Good for her.
videos.
Fart
Here,
and
I'll show
farts.
you, I'll
Yeah,
show you
she's
this
cute,
one
though.
here. Hold on. Watch. No, but it sure sounds like it.
It sounds like the wrong amount of wet.
Did it work? Yes. It lit up my whole butt.
Sounds like she's like with her kid or something. Have you? This is going to sound like a really ridiculous question. Have you ever lit a fart?
Yes.
I have not.
I've never done that either.
done
It seems like something that just about everybody would try to do at some point. I would just be worried that I'd set my ass on fire.
That's why you do it in pants.
Huh?
You do it the way she did it in some pants.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I don't
right.
mean bare ass. I mean, there's people that,
I've never done that ever.
You've never tried to light a fart.
I have no interest in that.
All right.
That's why you got to wear the flame. How do you even say this anymore? Down syndrome pants?
Flame retardant clothing is what you're looking for.
Retardant. Is
Retardant.
an okay word.
Yes.
They're not flame retardant.
We still have to be able to. We still have to be able to describe things.
But it's not even the right word.
It's not. Did you think it was flame retarded clothing? Is that what he thought it
I
was?
think that's what he thought it was.
Flame retarded clothing. It's retardant.
I'm just gonna sit this one out. I'm glad it's not me.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey,
What's up?
what's up? Hey, I wanted to chime in on this whole that homeschool Nazi thing. So I heard I don't remember which one of you said it, but misusing funds and homeschoolers are getting all this state money and stuff like that. They don't. I homeschool, or we homeschool, not in a traditional sense. We use like an online gig, but we still have to fill out paperwork for our local school district because the local school district gets a chunk of whatever, they allot so many thousands of dollars per kid to each school district. And they get that money even though my kids don't use any of their facilities and do any of that stuff. Talking about like teachers not being able to buy supplies and paper and stuff like that. The state just completely misuses money. If you start to dig into it, and all these school levies.
Yeah, I don't doubt that for a
and
second.
tax dollars.
Yeah.
It's a disaster.
So Ryan, does it as a homeschooler, does it seem to you, because you would be way more informed about this than I would, does it seem like whoever set up this Nazi curriculum filed like they lied about obviously what they were going to do just to get it past whatever little oversight there was, and then went about doing what they're going to do?
Probably not. I mean, it just, you kind of just have to say that you're going to do something, and you have to have like a certified teacher or a licensed teacher, whatever, kind of just check in every so often. Like I think it's twice a year or once a year when you traditional homeschool. So if they find somebody that is a nut about this stuff like they are, then they're just going to sign off on it. So I don't think anybody in the state overlooked it. I think they're just like, all right, yeah, we'll do whatever you do. There's all kinds of homeschool programs out there. There's faith-based, there's evolution-based, there's this based, there's a whole variety of stuff out there, and people can pick and choose from a half dozen different things. And that doesn't jam people up when it gets to trying to go to a university or a college, higher education? If you do it right, if you are on top of things, as you know, like my wife is on top of everything. My oldest, no problem in college. My middle daughter is 16. She's been in college since she was in 8th grade, taking online classes. Well, she's brilliant.
Yeah, but I mean, but again, I mean, it sounds like, I mean,
it is right.
Yeah, but anybody, I mean, if you're not, if you're doing some online curriculum, I mean, that you go, here's my 8th grader, that just transfers to college. I mean, if it's all on,
well, it's like post-secondary, but they've changed it. So instead of it being post-secondary and only open to high schoolers, I believe it's open all the way as young as 6th grade. You have to test a SAT, ACT. You have to meet the requirements of that college or university.
Yeah.
But you can go. My daughter's been enrolled in Stark State literally since she was 14 years old.
It seems to me that all of the different varieties you describe, all I'm thinking is it seems if somebody's homeschooling their kids under some kind of faith-based, you know, they're probably not teaching them science, or they're teaching them some creationism nonsense or something like that. And sooner or later, that's going to jam them up when reality hits them in the face and goes, no, dummy, you got to know science, not just that Jesus was riding dinosaurs.
Well, that's a whole separate discussion.
Right.
But if you are giving everything a fair shake, which plenty are, you know, my kids learn about, you know, evolution. They learn about creation. We say, this is what we believe, but here's both sides of the coin. And so they know this stuff. It's just all in how you handle it. It's just like anything else. Yeah, this Nazi stuff, it just, as long as they get somebody that's going to approve their tests and make sure that they are keeping up, they can teach them anything. And it does kind of suck, but
I guess.
Okay. Freedom, right?
Yeah,
it's
freedom
all across the board.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. I guess you also have to buy into the misguided notion that creationism and evolution are two sides of the same coin, when obviously they're not, because creationism's all made up. But it is fire retardant. I've got to take a break. If you want to text, do that at 35192. I'll have that last pair of tickets for you to get to the Nickelback show. They're doing Blossom this summer, and then another $1,000 for you. The keyword coming up at 5:30 to